What a lovely and wonderful day. Welcome to Physics Meal. This is still part of our Mathematics and Science Meal program where we enjoy ourselves in physics, chemistry, mathematics, and what? And biology. Today on Physics Meal, we are going to look at the concept of temperature and its measurement, part 1 of it. You know that temperature and its measurement is a very important topic in the study of physics. It's under the aspect of physics we call thermal physics. Because in thermal physics we look at heat and we also look at temperature and its measurement. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Mathematics Meal 1, and also follow us on Facebook at Mathematics and Science Meal. Alright, quickly, let's begin the journey on temperature and its measurements. Alright, from time to time we hear about temperature. It's not a new concept. People talk about temperature at home, and even in the hospital the doctors may touch a patient and they say, oh, the temperature is high. Okay, so temperature is something that we are very conversant with. But what do we mean by temperature of a body? Because most times at home when people talk about temperature is when a body is hot. But temperature is not all about the hotness of what? Of a body. So in sciences we define temperature as the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. How hot or how cold a body is what we mean by what? Temperature of a body. So we say that temperature can be defined as the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. So how hot a body is or how cold a body is what we mean by the temperature of the body. How hot a body is, that's the extent of hotness, the degree of hotness of a body, or the degree of coldness of a body. That's what we mean by what? By temperature. We can also define temperature. We can also say that temperature is a thermodynamic property. We know actually that temperature is a thermodynamic property because we have different properties of thermodynamics. So temperature is a thermodynamic property that determines the direction of heat flow when bodies are what? Are together. So we can say also temperature is a thermodynamic property. So we can say thermodynamic property which determines the direction of heat flow between bodies. So temperature is a thermodynamic property that helps us to determine the direction of heat flow between what? Between bodies. Now look at this. If I have a body, A and I have a body B, and these two bodies are at different temperatures. So let's say that this one is at a temperature of 38 degrees C. We'll still talk about this. And maybe this one is at a temperature of 87 degrees C. Okay? Now, and we want to really talk about temperature. Right? Remember, we have said that temperature is degree of hotness or coldness of a body. We also said that temperature is a thermodynamic property which determines the direction of heat flow. Now, here, in which direction will heat flow? Heat will flow from B to A. Okay, let's first of all remove this. If someone now asks, in which direction will heat flow? You cannot really know the direction of heat flow. You cannot say that heat will flow from A to B or from B to what? A. Because there is a factor that actually shows us the direction of heat flow, and that factor is not indicated in any of these bodies. So because of that, because the factor is not here, we cannot actually know the direction of heat flow as we are looking at body A and body B, they are of different temperatures. The temperatures, or the temperature of body A and the body B, were not indicated here. So we cannot really know the direction of heat flow until we know their temperature. So temperature is a factor that determines the direction of heat flow. So if I write down 38 as I've done before, and I say that here is at 87 degrees. Now, what will be the direction of heat flow? The direction of heat flow will be from B to what? From B to what? To A. So heat flow. This arrow is showing heat flow. Heat will flow from B to what? A. How? Because we now know their temperatures, and heat will flow from a higher temperature to what? A lower temperature. So temperature is a factor that shows us the direction of heat flow. So heat will always move from what? A body with higher temperature to a body with what? Lower what? Temperature. So once we know the temperatures of two bodies, we can actually know the direction of heat flow. And that's why we say that temperature is the thermodynamic property that will always show us the direction of heat what? Of heat flow. Yes, it shows us the direction of heat flow, because we have seen that that heat will always flow from a body of higher temperature to a body of what? Lower temperature. So once you indicate the temperatures of two different bodies, you can actually know the direction of heat flow, because you can see the temperatures. So it is the temperature of the body that shows us the direction of heat what? Of heat flow. Okay. All right. Now the SI unit of temperature is what? Is Kelvin. The SI unit. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Now there are other units which you are going to see when we come to our next topic, or next aspect of temperature and heat measurement. That's the temperature scales. When we look at the temperature scale, we see different scales, like the centigrade scale, the Fahrenheit scale, and that's when we now start seeing units like Celsius, Fahrenheit. We have another one we call Rankine, but at this level we only look at the Celsius, the Fahrenheit, and the what? And the Kelvin. That's what we are going to consider. So the SI unit of measuring temperature is what? Kelvin. As you know, when we treated measurement, we can also say that temperature is a fundamental quantity. So temperature is a fundamental quantity. Temperature is a fundamental quantity. So it doesn't depend on any quantity for its what? For its dimension. The dimension is just capital theta. We use theta because we have used capital T for time. So we usually use theta to represent the dimension, or to represent the dimension of temperature. That's what we use. We use theta as the dimension of temperature. All right. Before we round off, you need to know this. Before we conclude, the instrument used in the measurement of temperature is called thermometer. So the instrument we use in measuring temperature is the instrument we call thermometer. I think I have some here. And this is a thermometer. That's a thermometer. And there's another one here. This is also a thermometer. So we have this. We're going to see how we use them in measuring temperature in one of our practical classes. So you can see that that's a thermometer. This is also a thermometer. So this one is colored. The liquid inside is colored, telling you that the liquid is not mercury anyway. So that's thermometer. This is also thermometer. They have different temperature range. They have different temperature range. So we're going to see in our practical class how we use a thermometer in measurement of what? Of temperature. Okay. So that's it for this part in temperature and its measurement. In our next part, we are going to look at the temperature scale, and we'll talk about the different temperature scale, and we'll talk about the calibration of what? Of a thermometer. We'll also look at calibration of a thermometer. We have a lot of things to look at in our next video. We may not finish it in the second part, so some of them will be taken to the third part. We'll have things like upper fixed point, the lower fixed point, fundamental interval to consider. These are the basics in the study of temperature and its measurement. All right. Thank you for following us till now. Remember, there is need for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook at Mathematics and Science MEA. If you are preparing for UTME, Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, and your WAEC, West African Senior School Certificate Examination, you need to glue. Yes, you need to use glue, and glue yourself on this channel, because you have a lot to benefit. It's also important that you join our WhatsApp group, where we teach students and also answer questions on different subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. All we are trying to do is to make sure that our students are fully and totally prepared for their external exam, so that they will not be dependent on any external help. Remember, if you know these things at this level, by the time you get to the university, you will not struggle to learn them in advance form. Thank you for following us till now. I'm still your lovely and wonderful tutor. Am I not wonderful? Yeah, I know I'm wonderful. Yeah, I know that I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. That's what God told me. Anyway, I'm still your lovely and wonderful tutor, Engineer Ike Okechukwu. I love you.